For all the patient. I don't know the lyrics to Auld Lang Syne. I don't know what I thought I was doing there, Henry.
For all the patients? Is that where you started?
Be forgot and all the times we've had. For all the patient be forgot and the Auld Lang Syne.
Wow.
Is that right?
No. You're close. It's for old acquaintance be forgot.
Sure. You're an old acquaintance.
That's correct.
Yeah.
For old acquaintance be forgot. And I don't remember.
Oh, trying to one-up me. You know one word I didn't know.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah. All right.
Welcome to the
everybody.
franchise. I'm your host, the D-Train, Daniel Ehrenberg, on the ones as well as the twos. Fa la 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 Ehrenberg. Let's talk about... It's still... Listen. We wish you a Merry Christmas. It is post-Christmas now.
Yeah.
Henry...
Yeah.
Henry Papali, my co-host.
Yes,
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, did you have a Merry Christmas?
It was lovely. It was lovely. It was uneventful and quiet and lovely.
What
Yes.
did you do?
Well, on Christmas Eve, I worked.
Did you cook a baked goose?
I actually had a DiGiorno Rising Crust pizza, so that was
Rising crust. That sounds good.
Good. It was very good. The fam was out
Crusty?
of, no, because I like doughy sort of pizza, so it was perfect for me. It was not like a crispy thing. It was very good. I don't really, I know it saddens your heart. I don't really care that much about Christmas anymore.
Did you watch any Christmas movies?
No.
That's not true. I was trying to a segue. You watched the Santa Claus 2 and the Santa Claus 3, the Escape Clause.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, I didn't watch them on Christmas, though. I think on Christmas I watched something I bought with a gift card I received. I believe I rewatched Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You got through the boring parts okay?
There are no boring parts. That movie on a rewatch is just as amazing as it was the first time. Haters beware.
I missed Blunt.
Really?
Yeah. All right.
Not me.
Henry.
How about you, man? You're Mr. Father Christmas.
I watched 4 Christmas movies on Christmas.
No, go ahead.
So eat a dick. I watched these 2, the ones we're about to talk about for the podcast.
Yeah.
Then I watched Krampus.
I tried to watch that last year and I turned it off.
You know, you're not the first person that's told me that, but I enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like a little cult favorite for everybody. I didn't like it at all. I couldn't get through it.
I think the thing with cult favorites is some people aren't in the cult. They don't like it.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I didn't dig it, but okay.
All right. And then, as has become tradition, I watched a Lifetime Christmas movie.
Oh, how'd that go for
It
you?
went great. So last year, you'll recall, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast. Probably we did. We watched A Heavenly Christmas.
Ooh, that rings a bell.
That was with Charlotte from Sex and the City, and I think she falls in love with a ghost.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds great.
So this year, I watched a film called The Christmas Gift, and it had Michelle Trachtenberg from Gossip Girl, Harriet the Spy, you may know her as.
Yeah.
And she was romancing a black fella.
Mm-hmm.
They were pen pals as kids, Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And now she wants to write an article about that for a publication that she works for. And so she starts interviewing this guy about the children's shelter that he runs, and doesn't tell him right away that she was the childhood pen pal.
Wow. Okay. All right. I thought this was going to take a sick turn somewhere.
No.
It being Lifetime and all.
No. The Christmas movies, they're just cozy as shit, buddy. They don't fuck with that kind of thing.
Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah.
You never
So
know.
it was just a pleasant movie, and whatever.
So you watched all four in one day.
Yeah, on Christmas.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
impressive, man. That's impressive.
I'd like to thank my friends. I'd like to thank my family. And I'd like to,
For just pulling it off and watching those four movies.
yeah. I'd like to thank the Academy.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press, as always.
Oh, of course. They're French.
Yeah,
Merci
mostly.
Mostly French. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to also welcome everybody to the show for episode 134.
134, and good tidings, everybody.
Tidings.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Santa Claus movies.
Well, that's what we're here to do.
People were worried about you watching these movies, Henry.
For like my mental health?
Yeah, I think I heard from multiple people on the internet. Shut Up Tim was one of them. That I know off the top of my head, but a lot of people were contacting me, messages that they hope you get through this.
I'm moved.
Yeah.
I'm moved. Well, I can tell you right now what happened. Going into the second one, about 25, 30-minute mark, okay, I had already paused it about 6 times.
Hour 44 minutes, this movie.
Very, very long.
Inexcusable.
Very, very long. I sort of felt like someone who probably, when they get sentenced to death and they're on death row, right? And so they really can't go anywhere. Let's say their appeals are done. So the appeal process is over. So I felt kind of like just sort of resigned. And in that resignation, I found a modicum of happiness. So I was actually...
Modicum.
Yeah, well, it depends on if you're British or American.
Which are you?
Remember, I spent some time in Canada. So
Oh,
they emulate
please.
everything the British. They emulate the Brit. Sometimes I say words that the way Canadians say them. It is modicum. I agree with you. Americans pronounce that word correctly. I found
Americans,
a little bit
except
of,
for you.
yeah, exactly. Of happiness there. Not in the experience of watching the movie, but a resignation that was just kind of, I'm not going to fight it. I couldn't fight it. I reached a good place.
Did you ever get to a point where you had hope? Say, like Isaiah Washington in the Clint Eastwood film True Crime. He had resigned himself to death. And then Clint Eastwood was like, I have 24 hours. I'll get you off.
Right. No, I knew there was no escaping my fate. But unlike like a total governor phone call, I did get things along the line that were little nuggets, like Elizabeth Mitchell.
She's delightful, isn't she?
Yes.
Even in these movies, I found her quite delightful.
I agree. And then Molly Shannon, who I've never been a big fan of, but that was a beacon of light. No, I like her. I just never liked any of the characters she did on Saturday Night Live. I think she's kind of funny herself.
But what about Mary Catherine Gallagher?
Not funny.
What about
conceivable way? NPR woman was funny, I guess.
Yeah, what else did she do? Cheerleaders with Sherry O'Terry.
Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying?
I can't think of any.
You see where I'm going, yeah. So, but so there were those beacons of light, or as the late President Bush would say, 1,000 points of light. And then for 3, I was looking forward to seeing what was going to appear before me with the great Martin Short. And we'll get to that.
You say great.
I did.
Okay.
I think he deserves that title, despite the colossal missteps he's made.
Martin Short, nobody has had a greater divide between greatness and unwatchability than Martin Short.
It's a bold statement. There might be other contenders, but I tend to agree with you.
Who are the other contenders?
Oh, my. I mean, Oh my goodness. Unwatchability but greatness. Dana Carvey.
Mel? How about Mel?
Mel Gibson. Unwatchability. I mean, intolerability of personality. Can you unwatchability of a Mel Gibson thing? Give me something.
Conspiracy
I'm
theory.
A good one.
Passion of the Christ.
I liked Moments.
Henry, the Santa Claus
Santa
2.
Claus appearance in
Now-
Passion was my favorite part.
Oh,
Yeah, when Santa's hand is one of the people hitting the nails into the cross, I like that he threw Santa Claus in the movie.
Santa
pretty
Claus
cool.
is no Jew, Henry.
Yeah, it was a good scene at the end. Yeah, very good stuff.
Henry, the Santa Claus 2 comes out November 1st, 2002. And see, you'll recall when the first movie came out, I was 8 years old. Went to see it in theaters. Enjoyed myself.
Right.
Now, I am in 2002, probably like 15.
Yeah.
And I'm not into it anymore. I didn't go see this. Didn't even consider going to see it. It
Right.
was just like, listen, we talk about 3 years being the magic number between first movie and first sequel. 8 years, that's too long.
It's a real long time. I have, while I had remembered vaguely being a teenager when the first one came out, I have zero recollection of this ever even having a sequel, it ever coming out. And I was an avid moviegoer, obviously, at 24 in college, went to the movies every single week. Don't even remember if I saw a trailer. May have. Don't remember. Yeah.
I don't know if I saw a trailer, but maybe like we weren't seeing kids' movies.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. Pixar wasn't quite the institution it is now, and now they'll pop a kids' trailer in front of a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And there weren't as many of those going on.
Well, yeah, that was the sort of beginning of the X-Men and the Spider-Man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Spider-Man came out this year, right? 02?
That's correct.
All right, so Santa Claus 2 comes out to us. We have a new director, John Paquin. He's off doing TV. It's a fella named Michael Lembeck.
Yeah.
Now, you familiar with this guy?
I mean, I read up on him, if that means familiar.
Well, he's our new
quite the
director for
journeyman.
Yeah,
he's
for
quite a journeyman.
for 2 and 3, Henry. Now,
Yeah.
if you want to know anything about Michael Lembeck, I think all that needs to be said is he directed 67 episodes of Major Dad.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. I was familiar with his name from Friends, to be honest.
Yeah.
He directed a bunch of Friends and Mad About You, I believe.
I knew him from the 2010 film The Tooth Fairy.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Santa Claus 2 was the beginning of his directorial career, Henry, as a feature filmmaker. And it was a hit, so he got to make a few more movies. After this, he made Connie and Carla,
I remember that.
which was the Nia Vardalos' follow-up to My Big Fat Greek.
That was quite as big a hit as that, too, right? Sensational.
I don't think it did well.
Mm,
Connie and Carla.
right.
Interesting. Now, then he did Santa Claus 3, and from there on out, it's not much. He did Tooth Fairy. Now, there's Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, which I believe is a spin-off of the High School Musical films.
I couldn't get my guys to find any info on it.
I believe Sharpay was Ashley Tisdale's character in the High School Musical films.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, we should cover those.
Yeah, those will be done.
I'd like to announce right now that we're opening up 2019 with a deep dive into High School Musical.
Yeah, there will, listeners, you take it easy on me a little this weekend, Dan. You know, I did do the Santa Claus, 3 of them, and we did do Mamma Mia. So, musicals, sure.
Well, you know what I'm excited
lots more to
about?
come.
I'm excited that I don't know what we're covering next. I just realized Henry is
No, you
announcing
did
it
not.
on the show.
No, and I have it set.
I'm
It's
excited.
ready.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this fella, Michael Lembeck, he's currently toiling over there between the folds of Candice Bergen's skin on the new Murphy Brown series.
Jesus.
And they're making lots of great points about what a terrible administration we're currently living in.
They should have Dan Quayle on as a guest.
Oh,
That would be
yeah.
pretty awesome. Nice throwback, you know. You realize this will be Lembeck, what we're covering today. He'll have done 3 movies involving the Tooth Fairy.
That's true. That's a really good point, Henry, because The Rock, of course, plays the Tooth Fairy in the Tooth Fairy, but the Tooth Fairy's also in these movies.
Yeah.
Who's he played by?
Art LaFleur.
Now, who's that?
Art LaFleur used to be have a role as the never moving stationary object on the flag of Quebec.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm sorry, that's the fleur de lis. But
I hate you.
but yeah, no, I don't fucking know, man.
No, but I knew this guy from stuff. His name is Art LaFleur. Is he like a hockey player's dad?
It sounds like he's Aquaman's dad. I don't know. You know, take a look. I'll take a
He's
look.
the captain in Cobra. I got news for you.
Well, there you go.
He's in a lot of stuff. He's one of these guys. I think he was around in the 80s, and now he's just, he's still out there acting.
Yeah, of course. And we also get to cover today actually 2 people. That
Henry's
we
in Field of
encountered.
Dreams. You should know about him.
I told you I hate that movie.
I know, but I like to think you don't.
I know. I understand that. That's fair.
Okay.
We also will get to it, obviously. I'm sure you're very excited, but we'll be covering 2 actors, 2 of the greats that we have helped find merchandise.
Who are you talking about here?
The Breslin siblings.
Oh, the Breslins. We'll talk about them quite a bit. Let's wait till later for that one, though. The Santa Claus 2 by Michael Lembeck. We have 5 writing credits on this movie.
I noticed that.
Always
right
a
away,
great
honestly.
sign of art. And so Don Reimer, Cinco Paul, Ken Dorio, Ed Decter, and John J. Strauss. Any of those names pop out at you?
Only John J. Strauss, because he is a distant relative of the great waltz king Johann.
There's no
Strauss.
way that's true. Ed Decter and John J. Strauss. I'm familiar with these fellas.
Are you?
Yeah. Now, they had a little bit of a hot streak. Not a streak, but they were hot in Hollywood for a second. All right. Now, they wrote a little screenplay called There's Something About Mary. And what happened to that screenplay was the Farrelly brothers got a hold of it and rewrote it and made a good movie that was a big hit.
Oh.
But because Ed Decter and John J. Strauss both had their names on this very, very successful movie, they started getting hired for stuff in Hollywood. Give us some of that magic, baby. Not realizing Hollywood, in their infinite wisdom, not realizing that all of the magic in that movie was from the Farrelly brothers.
Right.
And Cameron Diaz and probably Ben Stiller's cum.
Let's not forget Matt Dillon.
Hey, listen, I'm on a Matt Dillon high right now. I watched The House That Jack Built last night.
Oh, yeah.
It's me, Matt Dillon. Yeah, I'm a serial killer now. You ran into me at a diner once. Yep. You signed.
He's to die for as a drugstore cowboy. Let me tell you.
Shut up. He signed my placemat at a diner once.
He did not.
I swear to God, when I was a little kid.
No, I believe you because that sounds retarded. Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yes. It's been a while since you've said it, so I was saying it.
Said what?
Retarded.
Well, I don't say that.
You've said it about 55 times
Check
on the show.
the tapes. I've never once said it.
Oh, Madison Apitz will.
Madison, I want you to write down every time I say that word. You'll find 0 instances of it.
I can't wait for this. This is some bullshit. This is great.
Okay,
All
so
right.
Decter and Strauss, they got a chance to be filmmakers in their own right. After the success of There's Something About Mary, they wrote and directed a movie, Henry.
What was that?
Now, it was a movie called The New Guy. And
I remember that.
I saw it. The thing I
didn't.
remember about the new guy, there's two things I remember about the new guy.
Oh, I remember one thing. I wonder if it's the same. Go ahead.
The first thing I remember is that I remember there's a scene where they go to a record store and Vanilla Ice has a cameo as a record store employee. And there's like the cool rock kid in the movie, and he asks Vanilla Ice where they could find the new Creed CD.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. But
Okay.
the second thing I remember is our friend Phil.
I knew
And
it.
of course,
I was hoping. Yeah.
Phil loved movies. He's not dead. I mean, he might as well be. But he's living in Florida. So he
Same thing.
same thing. So he loved movies and insisted there are no bad movies. There are movies with more bad parts than good parts.
Right.
And so one time, I asked him,
Oh, I gotta get ready for this.
Phil,
I remember. Set the scenario. I'm standing alongside, not really participating in the conversation.
oh, this was at Barnes & Noble, yeah.
I'm
near
there.
the-
It's like the three of us standing there, and you're interrogating. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to interview Phil because he was
Right.
willing to answer questions, and he was kind of like a fucking dork. And so, I mean, I love him.
He was
but
very innocent.
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy. He was very innocent.
square is the word.
That's a real good word.
Yeah. So, I asked him if there are any movies that have no good parts. Can you think of any movies? And he really thought about it. He
Yeah.
long pause,
Uh-huh.
and then he finally had it, and he said, "The new guy."
And he says that, and Dan sort of cracks a slight smile. And I'm sort of watching this unfold, and Dan just goes, yeah, uh-huh. No good parts? Huh? No? None? And for some reason, the timing of the question and Phil's answer, Dan's seen me laugh hard many times. Was that maybe top 5
It's
hardest? you've
maybe
ever
the
seen me
hardest I've ever seen you laugh.
laugh? Yeah, period, right?
You collapsed
I did. I fell onto the floor. I couldn't.
onto La Floor.
Le floor. Yeah, I fell onto the fleur de lis. Could not catch my breath. I don't know.
Yeah.
It got me.
What a time, Henry. So
What a
this
story for everybody else too.
this
right?
movie, well, I think that held up. Budget of $65 million. Too high.
Didn't matter, did it?
It kind of did because it made 100. It made 172.9 million.
That's 172 more than I thought it made. So
Well, it's a hit, but like I feel like they didn't make as much money as they could have. They could have kept this budget down to like 35 million and made way more.
well, the effects are much better this time.
I mean, they weren't. They weren't, and you didn't need all that action shit at this North Pole. That was the worst part of the movie.
I agree with you.
All right, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So this movie was originally titled "The Escape Clause." Interesting. They ended up using that for the last part, and it was it came in at number 16 at the box office between Triple X and Minority Report. And Henry, I found some information out that I should have included in last week's episode that I'd like to bring up now.
Sure.
The Santa Claus 1 was nominated for 2 awards at the 1995 MTV Movie Awards.
Okay.
Okay, you know I love to talk about them.
I do. Yeah.
Tim Allen was nominated for Best Breakthrough Performance.
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
Okay.
He was breaking through. He was breaking new ground for racist, misogynistic pieces of shit. And
Yeah.
and I'd like to announce right here, he lost to a little girl.
Uh-oh.
Kirsten Dunst for Interview with the Vampire.
Ooh.
Okay. And I'd like to announce that Tim Allen was also nominated for Best Comedic Performance.
Fair enough.
And he lost to Jim Carrey for Dumb and Dumber.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I'd have to go reevaluate.
And Carrey was also nominated for The Mask.
Sure.
Yeah, that was the year of Carrey. He could do no wrong. It was
No,
all leading up to Batman Forever.
That's right, man. Double down.
Okay, so do we have to do the 2002 lists?
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull that out. All right, what's your number 10, Henry?
Spider-Man.
All right, mine's The Rules of Attraction.
Number 9.
A film about Tim Allen's college years.
Nice. Yeah. Number 9, The Bourne Identity.
Number 9 is The Piano Teacher.
I'm not going to argue. I forgot that year was that. Yeah.
Yep,
Great
go
movie.
ahead.
Number 8, 28 Days Later.
Number 8, Lovely and Amazing.
Number 7, Insomnia.
Oh, Nolan making an early list appearance.
Yeah,
Number
his first one.
Yep, number 7 is Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Great movie. Number 6, Bowling for Columbine.
My number 6 is Punch Drunk Love.
Ooh.
One of Paul Thomas Anderson's many great films.
The only film he did that is terrible.
I knew you were getting
The
there.
only one. And guys, wait a minute. What's happening?
Yo, theme
Grand
songs.
slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
That's right. They're back. Narc.
That's such not a heavy hitter.
It's a very heavy hitter, man. Busta Rhymes is in that.
Well, my number 5 is a movie starring my old friends Eric and Dylan, the Trenchcoat Mafia, Bowling for Columbine.
Ah, nice. Number 4, the great David Fincher film Panic Room.
My number 4 is the second Charlie Kaufman script on this list, Adaptation.
Great movie. Number 3, the great Alexander Payne about Schmidt.
That's my number 3.
Oh. Number 2, the great Martin Scorsese, Gangs of New York.
My number 2 is Far From Heaven.
Good movie. The number 1 movie of 2002, I believe we still have the same one. I will always have 25th Hour.
Yeah, me too. Okay, Santa Claus 2. Let's do this, Henry. Let's take this podcast to ElfCon 3. Now that's an elf joke. There are a lot of those in this movie.
How many listeners do you think went with us on this journey? A lot of times they follow us if they haven't seen the movie already. How many you think went with us on this journey?
I feel like probably a lot. They're Christmas movies, and so it's like there's a built-in excuse to watch these.
And I feel like some of them, out of loyalty and love for me, might have just done it to sort of be with me, you know, which I
In a
appreciate.
show of solidarity.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. And I want to thank you all for that.
Okay. Would you like to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press?
I would.
They loved Green Book. Okay. Lot of elf puns in this movie. It was like ice puns in Batman and Robin.
You're right.
Yeah, they were
Not
all
quite as
over.
many, but,
They
yeah.
they were very amused by elves. The little kids playing the elves. We have a new elf, Henry,
Yeah.
and it's Spencer Brez.
Yeah.
Now, Spencer Breslin, of course, Disney's the kid. He came up as a little child actor with one of those voices, and he's such a shitty child actor that I believe the Stinkers Bad Movies Awards named their worst kid actor award after him.
Really?
It's like the Spencer Breslin Commemorative Award.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is some mean shit.
Yeah.
Woo.
Stinkers go hard, man. Those stinkers, they take it a little tougher on the cognoscenti than the old Golden Razzers do.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Golden Raz, they blow a raspberry. The stinkers, they'll shit on your face.
Yeah.
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 Henry, Spencer Breslin, of course, another Barnes & Noble story. Fucking hell.
I know, man.
He was regular. He was there.
We were at the epicenter of the cusp of unremarkable famous people.
The Breslins were there all the time, Henry.
Jesus, man.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. The Spencer, he was he was getting into indie cinema. That's what I remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard him talking about like, oh, who else should I try? You know, like I'm thinking about maybe watching a Robert Altman movie.
Because he was anticipating a career
Or
in
he
that
didn't
direction.
sound like that at all. It was more like I think I'm gonna watch an Alexander Payne movie. He sounds like fucking Donkey Lips, bro.
You sounded like a baritone Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like. So I made friends with Spencer Braz because I happened to have a TV show DVD as my staff selection when he came in, and he happened to be in an episode of that show.
No way.
Yeah, and so it was a great opening gambit, and I went up to him and I was like, dude, check out my staff pick.
Yeah.
It was this show called Wonder Falls, and he said,
Oh yeah, you tried to get me to watch that. Yeah.
yeah, that didn't pan out.
No, I did watch it, but yeah.
You didn't like it?
No.
Okay. Not
Watch
not
the
a
whole
lot not a lot of whimsy coming from Henry.
No.
You did watch a later
whims-
TV show by the same writer.
Did I?
Yeah, Hannibal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got
Not a lot of
range.
whimsy in that show.
Well,
Yeah.
there kind of is, just a different kind of whimsy.
Different kind of whimsy. Whimsy. All right. Yeah.
So I told Spencer Brez that I liked him on that show, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that was fun to do." That was his response.
Oh,
Yeah,
deeply engaged.
sure. And we
Did his mother say, "Please don't speak to him"?
No, his mother did. Those Brez kids, man. That is one mother, and so he, we talked every time he came in. We'd talk about movies. I'd recommend them indie movies, and then Abigail, of course.
Yeah, she came in all the time too.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Why not?
I made my play.
Oh,
Didn't go great. Anyway, but Spencer and I hit it off like dear friends. So he's in this movie. He sucks, and he's like the new co-head elf or elf head in training.
elf number 1, I think, right?
No, that's not till
No,
the third
yeah.
one, my friend, because Krumholtz didn't come back for part 3.
Right.
He was too
right.
busy filming Numb 3 Years. And
I actually got that joke.
that's good.
Yeah.
So, what's the plot of this movie? He's having a meeting with this Bureau of Magical Creatures, and who's at this meeting? You got Aisha Tyler, TV's,
Yeah, Mother Nature. Yeah.
TV's worst soup host as Mother Nature. No, she's not the worst. There's totally a worse one.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, she's actually really good in stuff. I shouldn't be too harsh. But there's hey, you guys, are you gonna talk about me?
Kevin
You
Pollak.
gonna talk about me? You gonna talk about me, Kevin Pollak?
Look at this
You want
guy.
to hear my Shatner? You want to hear the
Fucking Rich Little over
Hey,
here.
you want to hear? I do a Christopher Walken.
Do Kevin Pollak doing Christopher Walken.
It's did you see me on the Saturday Night Live?
Not bad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kevin Pollak, of course, currently doing great work on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, but boy, is he insufferable sometimes. And I've also he's a podcast progenitor, Henry, one of our forebears,
Oh, is that
one of our
right?
forefathers.
I didn't know that.
For a very long time, he has had a chat show. I think it's called Kevin Pollak's Chat Show.
Okay.
I've listened to a few eps.
I think our name's better.
Is it? His co-host, I think, his sort of Andy Richter on that show is Sam Levine from Freaks and Geeks.
Okay. All right.
All right, Henry. So they're having this meeting, and then they discover it's like there's like a week left until Christmas, and they're like, "Oh shit, we forgot about the Mrs. Claus." And
Right.
Tim Allen, who's all Santaed out, is like, "What's that?" They're like, "You gotta find a lady, all right? But you gotta do it before Christmas, or you lose all your Santa powers." Now.
Right.
This movie takes place 8 years after the first one. He loves being Santa Claus.
Right.
He fucking loves it. There's
He
that
does.
opening sequence of this movie where he's just like walking around the fucking workshop giving orders, and he's large and in charge. He doesn't have to fucking listen to Peter Boyle anymore. Although Peter Boyle is in the Bureau of Magical Creatures playing a different character.
That's right. He's Father Time.
He is Father Time. He's whatever.
Yeah, we got the Easter Bunny.
Oh,
Tooth Fairy.
Worf. Worf from Star Trek plays the Sandman.
That's who that was.
Yeah, you know he's the Sandman because he's wearing a little sleep cap the whole time.
Right. I thought that was an odd choice for the Council of Legendary Beings or whatever.
You might as well just have it be the Endless from fucking Sandman.
Well,
Have Aisha Tyler play Death.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, you're missing some key figures, I would think. I would think at some point we'd have to bring along a big leprechaun for St. Patty's Day.
I think you're right, but is there like a specifically iconic leprechaun?
Yeah, the guy in the Lucky Charms box, dude.
Henry, where's like Hanukkah Harry and all of this?
Where's Hanukkah Harry? Where's a father for Father's Day, a mother for Mother's Day?
What are you talking about?
Where's the 4th of
there
July
was
guy? Where's Uncle Sam from Memorial
Uncle
Day?
Sam, that I buy. He
Yeah,
should be there.
Where's Rosie the Riveter for Labor Day?
I love it. Get Rosie in there.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Could have had this whole council juiced, man.
Have Martin Luther King. Get him in there.
Get him. George Washington.
Then you could have some real good jokes. He'll be like, "I have a dream," and the Sandman could be like, "I know." Right? It's great ideas.
The possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are endless, and I do think it's a missed opportunity. But there's only so much space in these films. We do add Jack Frost.
We have an hour and 44 minutes.
But there's a lot to get through, Henry. We've got to tell a 2-week love story here. Yeah. So, meanwhile, back on Earth. Well, I guess it's all on Earth. Yeah. But back in wherever the fuck they live, the kid from the first movie who you hated so much is having some problems.
Yeah.
He is still fucking angry that he can't tell anybody his dad's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He's like 15 now.
Yeah. So he's grown into from a pain in the ass whiny little bitch to a pain in the ass whiny little bitch.
And he's rolling around this fucking high school and he's graffitiing, and I'm like, that's pretty sweet, bro. And then I realized he's graffitiing like pro-Christmas shit. It's all like Santa rules.
Very strange.
It's
very strange.
Weird.
And he has a very elaborate harness too for all these jobs he's doing.
Oh yeah, there's a weird sort of Mission Impossible riff where he's about to like make out with a girl.
I feel like he contacted Lucius Fox to get his graffiti apparel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Use it wisely.
It was like a mix between Last Crusade and Lucius Fox. I like that, especially the drawn out wisely. I can't even do it. That was good.
Does this Santa costume come in black? Okay. But he goes back. He's got it's fucked up because it's 2 weeks before Christmas. They're still building like presents. You'd think they'd be ready by now.
No, they cut it close, man.
They cut it real close. I feel like they're still filling up that bag on Christmas Eve. And so Santa has to leave everything to this robot. They make a robot Santa, and it's Tim Allen doing double duty. A little Eddie Murphy action here. showing
Talk
his
about-
range.
Yeah, man. Talk about some talent that's on equal playing ground. I mean,
Yeah. The Santa Claus 2, starring Tim Allen. And Tim Allen?
Tickets now on Fandango.
You have selected The Santa Claus 2. Why don't you just tell me what movie you want to see? Okay. So I'm very confused because he goes back and we get a look at this sitch. The kid is angry that he can't tell people his dad's Santa Claus. Meanwhile, the mom is still around, looking a little worse for the wear after 8 years, I gotta say. And,
Yeah,
Well,
at
I'm-
least she's a
it-
little more stylish.
yeah, I think I only noticed because Judge Reinhold looks exactly the same.
He looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
What is with this guy?
I know, he's ageless. And so he's still around, and they've had a kid together.
Yes.
And it's a ginger for some reason.
I got very
How the fuck did
confused.
they end up with a ginger?
I don't know, man. I got very confused all the way until the very end of the third movie as to how this girl was calling Tim Allen uncle. I didn't
Well,
understand.
I just think Tim Allen remained close to his ex.
Correct.
Yeah.
I was trying to actually figure out the genealogy.
Oh, no, he's not actually related to this girl. Like, in a few years, he could bone her if he wants to.
Oh, god damn.
I'm just saying,
2 fucking times. All right. Yeah.
she's a ginge, and they are not. I'm thinking this wife might be cheating with that leprechaun you were talking about.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
He was after Wendy Crewson's Lucky Charms, and he got one named Lucy.
Is her name Lucy?
Yeah. Or maybe Judge Reinhold was screwing it. You never know. One of his chakra
What
classes.
the fuck are you talking about? If Judge Reinhold was cheating,
Yeah.
how did she end up giving birth to a ginger? Do you know how human anatomy works?
I'm sorry. I watched Junior over the holidays.
You
and
did?
No.
Oh.
It screwed me up. Yeah. That's impossible.
You know, Henry, I once had a dream that I was pregnant,
I fucking bet you did.
and it was such a vivid dream that I genuinely believe I know what it feels like to be pregnant.
Wow.
I
Women everywhere are getting their tubes tied.
I still feel that way. It was
You feel
such
like
a
you
vivid
know.
dream. I feel
You-
like I know what it's like to be pregnant.
You are getting older. I mean, you're sure you're not having acid reflux or
No,
bad
no,
indigestion?
no. It's not a feeling I've felt in real life. It's just from this dream.
Mm-hmm.
And and I gotta tell you, I talked to my sister about it when she was pregnant,
Oh,
and I feel like she agreed with a lot of what I was saying and
Right.
related to it.
and when you walked away, did she fucking flip you off?
No,
or-
I think this is further confirmation that I, Daniel Ehrenberg, a straight, white, cis male, know exactly what it feels like to be pregnant.
Okay. All right. I really don't have a counter argument.
Tim Allen needs a wife.
That's the crux here. That's
So-
the crux here.
That's the crux.
He needs a ho ho ho.
Good one. So he gets set up. Is that a joke from the movie, or did you make that up?
I just made it up.
It's not bad. So he goes on a date with Molly Shannon. Now, here's something crazy about Molly Shannon.
Yeah.
She's a real Christmas freak in this movie. All right?
Yeah.
So she's wearing a sweater that has Santa Claus on it.
Right.
Did you notice anything about this sweater?
Well, it's him. It's Scott Calvin. Right.
Yes, it has Santa Claus on it, but it's not like the Coke can version of Santa Claus. It's not like the kind of Santa we see out there on merchandise. It's literally Tim Allen.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
She's on a date. with the guy she has on her sweater. By the way, the other thing is he loses all his like Santa looks, so he doesn't have the
Right.
beard or the hair anymore. And I think part of this was just in like Tim Allen's contract. Like,
I'm
I'll
done
come
with
back to do a Santa Claus 2 if you can find a way for me to not look like Santa Claus in this fucking movie.
You think he really had that much power over the?
They waited 8 years, man. I really do. Yeah. I think they probably wanted to fast track this movie. But because the movie ends with him being Santa Claus, they had to find a plot line that will de-Santa him for most of the movie.
Oh. All right. Yeah. Yeah, the Molly Shannon scene, like my death row analogy, I did find myself chuckling a little bit at her.
Yeah, those Shania Twain jokes really held up for you, huh?
Well, they don't, but I think it was more just her body language. She's always squirming around and shit. But, it was one of those things where resignation helps when watching such an abysmal, vacuous thing like this. So when she shows up and does that, I'm just kind of like, chuckle. All
right. Well,
Did you chuckle?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm
I enjoyed myself. I smiled throughout this film.
You did?
Yeah. I wasn't miserable. I was really loving it. I mean, because there's parts of it that are charming because Elizabeth Mitchell, I almost said Olsen. Elizabeth Mitchell is charming. We'll get to her. She's the school principal who he ends up with. Basically, like, he goes on the date with Molly Shannon and then decides he's in love with his kid's principal.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Elizabeth Warren in this movie is very good, and she knows how to kind of endear herself to, she's very sincere, and there was a part of me that was definitely, I think, enjoying this more so than I enjoy. Boy, that word enjoy.
Plus, it added a lot of diversity, having a Native American Indian on the cast.
Right. Yeah. Elizabeth Warren, the Sandman. There was Aisha Tyler.
That's true. There actually was a little more diversity.
There's some African American elves, some
Kevin
Asian
Pollak,
elves.
a Jew.
Right, right. Art LaFleur.
Sure, a Canadian.
The French, Canadian, Italian guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think maybe because there was a lot of stuff sort of in the adult world. So some of the maudlinism.
Because here's what happened, Henry. This movie, it's a family movie. So they made the section of the movie that takes place in the North Pole with sort of the elves, David Krumholtz and Spencer Breslin, fighting this like mega maniacal version of Tim Allen. That's for the kiddies, and that is fucking insufferable.
It's pretty awful.
And but then the stuff in like regular, it's a more adult contemporary.
It's kind of like it sounds like a normal movie, like a normal story.
It's like a rom-com.
Yeah, it completely is just a rom-com, which was very jarring in a good way.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, it's like they should. It was like that movie City of Angels or something. It was like sort of a Nancy Meyers movie.
There you go. It's complicated.
Yeah. It is complicated.
Right.
It's complicated. One of them, Santa. The other one has weird childhood issues involving Santa. How about that? She had this weird sob story.
Very strange.
Where she loved Santa so much as a kid that kids beat her up for it, and now she hates Santa.
Right.
And maybe her parents split up because of the turmoil involving Santa.
I don't know, but
I feel like Elizabeth Mitchell had a lot of like tearful monologues involving her childhood relations with Santa.
Right, that was a lot to buy into to still be affecting, a 42-year-old woman. I mean, I don't know. Santa issue. It's a little strange to me, but
Yeah.
Hey, she gets a sleigh ride with reindeer, no questions.
Oh my God, the fucking reindeer, Henry.
I just can't.
So he brings along one reindeer with him because he has to get from the North Pole to wherever the fuck they live.
Yeah.
And I think, is it Comet?
I think so.
Yeah. And Comet, the weirdest thing is like they have the reindeer sort of semi-able to talk,
Right.
but
Semi.
but it's weird. He can talk, but it's sort of like he sounds like Giovanni Ribisi in The Other Sister or something. It's because it's like Santa will be like, "Come on, Comet," and Comet will be like, "Okay." It's sort of like he sounds like, if like a mad scientist tried to like make a person, but like it's not quite right.
If like Judge Reinhold tried to have a baby.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Hey, by the way, speaking of nothing, what is the story with everyone pretending that there's no Rudolph? The fuck is that about?
there's no Rudolph.
We
in this
don't
movie.
we don't own the rights to that, or
That's a possibility.
was he blacklisted? Did he do something? I'd be interested.
Listen, he's always been a bit of a black sheep, Rudolph. I don't know. To me, they've got like the main ones, and I thought because in the beginning of the next movie, there's like a reindeer in training.
Yeah, Chet.
But yeah, I thought it was gonna be Rudolph, but it's not. It's Chet.
No, let's call him Chet.
And it's a really odd choice, and it might be a rights issue, because it's funny. Like they never even bring it up. It's sort of like
That's what I mean. Yeah.
it's a little bit like in like a zombie when they call in a zombie TV show like The Walking Dead, they call them walkers, but
Right.
it's like what a
However,
zombie is. Right?
You know what? I was just gonna say they don't acknowledge that he exists, but the movie does, because at one point you hear Chuck Berry's song "Run, Run, Rudolph." So he's a part of the Santa Claus universe.
but
culture.
Henry, that's non-diegetic sound.
That's correct.
We don't know if that song exists
That's
within
excellent.
the universe.
Have we ever said that word yet
I
on this show?
I don't know.
That's criminal that we haven't.
Yeah.
Let's make sure to say it a lot more.
I'd love to talk about diegetic sound.
Diegetics with L. Ron Hubbard.
Good one. Henry, so he falls in love with Elizabeth Mitchell. Now he's got to get back to the North Pole to stop this Santa Claus, who, by the way, at some point in the movie just dresses up like Mussolini and becomes a dictator in Claus.
Right. Yeah,
And so he's got to get back and like beat this guy and his army of wooden soldiers who don't really do anything, just walk around.
Right.
And but Comet can't fly because he ate too much and he's in the backyard farting.
Yeah.
A lot of great reindeer fart jokes. in
I
this movie.
think that flatulence should have been given a special effects credit in the movie.
There's a lot of good sound effects in this movie. The farts are great, obviously. But I feel like Michael Lembeck is always like, add more comedy, because like you'll see like people fighting off screen. I feel like at one point like someone got thrown by like the robot Santa and there was like a boing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. There's a lot of that, and he wins and saves the day, and she, after knowing Tim Allen for 2 weeks, decides she's gonna become Mrs. fucking Claus. You know what's fucked up too? He looks like Tim Allen all this time, who I know is no prize,
Right.
But then, like as they're kissing, like on their wedding day, he turns back into Santa Claus. Like he gains like 1,000 pounds
Right.
and a huge white beard and his weird rosy cheeks.
Right.
And do you think she was expecting that?
I
Because
don't
like
think-
to me, if I'm Elizabeth Mitchell and I meet Tim Allen, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe like that's just like the image of Santa. I guess real Santa looks like this guy Tim Allen.
Right. Like, yeah, it's a good point. Probably harder to believe than anything in the movies would be that Elizabeth Mitchell would fall for Tim Allen, and knowing that she's going to give up her life and move to the North Pole. If Santa Claus was played by perhaps
Matthew Fox, baby.
right? Yeah, there you go. Tom Cruise, Matthew Fox.
She's way too tall for Tom Cruise.
Good point. Tom Hardy, Brad Pitt.
Sure.
You know, so
Idris
I wish-
Elba. I would love to see the Santa Claus remake with Idris Elba.
You know, she might give it all up and be like, I don't fucking care what you look like as Santa. I'm in.
She'll give
But-
it all up.
Right, but she's like, for Tim Allen, she's like, yeah, I'm in.
They should make a Santa Claus remake with Idris Elba just to bum out Megyn Kelly.
I don't remember that reference. What is this reference again?
Oh, I think she's anti-black Santa Claus.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I remember that. I'm sorry. Wow. So much happens in current events, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't remember that whole thing. That was great.
Yeah, Dynamite
I
stuff.
remember that. That was really good. Yeah.
Okay, and so then the movie ends with my favorite line because it's Tim being Tim the Toolman Taylor again, man.
Oh, what'd you say?
He gets super misogynistic again. So at the end of the movie,
Oh, I know what you're going to
it's
say. yeah.
fucking Christmas Eve. He gets on the sleigh to like go deliver the fucking presents, and she gives a nice little light joke. She says, "Don't be home too late." And
Yeah, that's it.
fucking Tim Allen looks at the camera and goes, "And so it begins. This fucking bitch giving me orders. I gotta get to the Elks Club and get me a cigar."
Yeah, that was in the outtakes.
Yeah.
The second part of that sentence.
Were there outtakes in this one?
No.
I think there were in the third one.
Oh, there were.
Yeah, I watched some bloops.
I watched a couple. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I did catch that line. I'm glad you caught it too. How could you not, right? Yeah. And so it begins.
It pissed me off so much.
Yeah. You think that was
And
an
this
ad-lib?
movie had gained like a tiny bit of goodwill with me.
Right. Well, that's all due to the adulting and Elizabeth Mitchell.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, the stuff with Elizabeth Mitchell. I mean, and not all of it's great. There's that weird scene
No.
with like the staff party where
Right.
like
yeah.
he magically gifts all the teachers of the school what they always wanted as kids.
Right.
And I'm just looking around like, really? You wanted Mousetrap?
I think I had Mousetrap when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'll. No one has ever played that game more than once.
Remember Connect 4?
I love
Remember
Connect
that
4. I'll play the fuck out of that.
It's good game.
I play Connect 4. There was a bar I used to go to that had a Connect 4, and I used to play it all the
Really?
time. Yeah.
That's cool.
Good times.
Yeah.
Henry, what do you give this movie?
I'm giving this sucker a big old numero uno.
Yeah, me too. And, I'm close to it, too, but not quite. It's a 1.
Well, you gave the first one a 2,
I
right?
did, and this is not quite as good.
This is better.
Oh,
100%.
All right.
100% for me.
I listen.
garbage, but
It's
a better movie.
I buy it because the Elizabeth Mitchell stuff is probably better than anything in the first movie.
I agree.
But I just think like the first movie has like a little bit of novelty, a little bit of creativity. It's no classic or anything, but like this movie exists for no reason.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
MVP?
Come on. It's the only one we said nice shit about is Elizabeth Mitchell.
True.
Yeah.
LV?
My LVP is again Tim Allen, but specifically for the little comic creation of the robot Santa because the he handled the lovey-dovey shit reasonably well.
I'm going to go with Spence Brez.
Oh, Brez.
Pretty bad.
Poor Brez.
Pretty bad. He's a stinker.
I'd love to get him on this podcast.
I'm sure that's entirely possible. You probably have his fucking phone number.
I might. Is he in any other franchises?
I don't know. Did the kid have...
I wish it did, Henry. I saw Disney's The Kid in the theaters.
Sure you did.
I grow up to be a loser.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, that's a line from the trailer. Remember?
That's Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah, Spencer Breslin in that movie grows up to be Bruce Willis.
Sure he does. Okay.
That didn't pan out for him.
No, I don't think so. All right. I do have a superhero count.
I'd love to hear it.
Okay.
It's like I'm home. Go ahead.
I figured that would make you pretty happy.
Yeah.
The sigh of of not relief, but of of nostalgia, right? Bringing you back.
For sure.
All right. I got 4, so not too hefty. And I got none for the
Not
third
like
one.
old Kris Kringle.
That's the young girl who was born out of some sort of wedlock, either male or female.
I
Lucy.
thought she was a not bad child actress.
She wasn't.
Yeah.
She was totally fine. Her name is Liliana Mumi.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
She
she's
was
doing
in-
like a sexy pose on her IMDb picture, which I never like when I look up kid actors, and that's what I see.
Like a Jean-Benet Ramsey. Oof.
She was asking for it. Go ahead.
She was in 3 cartoons. Excuse me, still fighting that cold. Batman Brave and the Bold
Okay.
played doll/kid number 2.
Sure.
Yeah. Batman Year 1. She
Hmm.
played Holly Robinson,
Oh, that's that little girl that's hanging out with Catwoman.
which leads me to her 3rd appearance in a DC showcase, Catwoman, where she played Holly Robinson.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
Well done. Number 2, Aisha Tyler played herself in an episode of the current series, or is it over? I don't know. Supergirl.
No, that's still on. It's weird that
Alright.
she played herself.
Yeah, I know. Number 3, the Easter Bunny was played by
Oh yeah, the Easter Bunny.
Creepy.
Yeah, he
Jason.
keeps like checking out butts.
It's very he reminded me of those Duracell commercials back in the 90s. Do you remember those where they had like I remember
Talking about Energizer?
No, not a bunny. It was the Duracell ones where they had people know what I'm talking about. If you were watching TV in the 90s, they had these Duracell commercials where they had like human being. Actually, they looked like the Tim Allen Santa, fake Santa.
Okay.
They were like, yeah, that was the whole concept of the ad, and it was very strange, and it was made fun of a lot on late night TV by the likes of the Lettermans and your SNLs and what have you. Anyway, Jay Thomas.
Jay Thomas, sure.
Yeah. He was in Batman the Animated Series playing the pivotal role of guard number 1.
He plays himself in one scene of Funny People that I always laugh at.
Oh, I need to see that again. It's been almost a decade. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Finally,
Block out 4 days of your life. You might fit it in. Go ahead.
Finally, last but not least, the Star Trek guy, Worf, did you say? Or Wolf? What is it?
I think he's Worf, yeah.
Yeah. Michael Dorn.
Yeah. Am I wrong about that, every listener? I feel like
Definitely on
some
Star
Star
Trek.
Trek nerd is going to fuck with me. Let me look
He's
him up.
definitely on Star Trek.
Go ahead. What's he in superhero land?
Only 6 things. The animated Fantastic Four
He
series.
is Worf, by the way. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well done. Well done. Fantastic Four, the animated series from the 90s, I believe. He played Gorgon.
That's one of the Inhumans.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was a successful TV show.
You know what they were missing? They were missing Black Bolt.
No, he was in that.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I watched every episode of it.
I bet. Yeah. Superman, the animated series, he played 2 different characters. One named, how did I write this? Calabac
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
and Steel.
Steel, he'd be a good Steel. I like that.
I never heard of that villain, but I when I looked him up,
He's
he
not
looked
a
like a
fucking
penguin.
villain, you piece of shit.
I never heard of that hero, but he
Steel?
looked like a big
He was
hero.
like replacement Superman when Superman
didn't
died. Remember Shaquille O'Neal played him in a movie.
Vaguely.
How do you not remember Steel?
I don't remember. I only bought the issue where Superman died. I didn't
But
follow the
Steel
fucking
is like still around. He's like a major DC Comics
I
character.
don't read these comics. Jesus Christ.
There was a movie.
And neither do you.
I do.
I thought you quit.
Well, I mean, it's not like I quit DC. I'm just not reading as many comics right now.
All right. He was also in Spider-Man, the new animated series, playing Kraven. Now, that's a guy I know.
Ooh, colorblind casting. Love it.
I have a Kraven comic, if you remember that.
Kraven the Hunter, sure.
Yeah. And finally, he was in Batman, the Brave and the Bold, playing Krull and playing Bane.
I bet he'd be a good Bane. I like Michael Dorn.
Yeah, Michael Dorn was also Captain Mozart in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated series.
All right.
And last but not least, live action, folks. Arrow and Supergirl, he played the same character.
Yeah, well, they're the same universe. Go ahead.
Right. Prometheus.
Prometheus?
Yeah,
Like from Alien?
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Is that a... I don't know who that is.
I thought you would.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I guess he's no Steel, huh?
No, he's not. Steele's a major character. John Henry Irons.
That's right.
He made his own super suit.
Oh, all right.
Henry,
Yeah.
can we talk about the Santa Claus 3, the escape clause?
If we must.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lembeck's back. They shed 3 of the writers. They got Decter and Strauss back to write. All right?
Yeah.
And apparently they were the ones that had all the elf puns in the second one, because there are even more in this one.
A lot.
Released November 3rd, 2006. By the way, we mentioned the last one was November 1st, 2002.
Yeah.
Too early. It's like right after Halloween.
Yeah.
Not in the spirit yet.
Not in the spirit.
Jesus. Hold
Well-
off to Black Friday.
I don't know, man. I
All
don't
right.
know.
November 3rd, 2006, 4 years after the previous one. So that's 3 Santa Claus movies over the course of 12 years.
Long time.
That's weird.
Everyone was busy, man.
I'd like to point out something to you, that the budget for the Santa Claus 2 was $65 million, and the budget for this one was $12 million. They just did not give them money to make this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And
No,
it
was
shows, because the whole thing takes place on that fucking North Pole set. And you can tell they probably just had the set standing,
Yeah.
and they were like, all right, we don't have to build any sets. That's something out of the... No location scouting. Let's just shoot here.
No, it was still the back lot that they'd had from 4 years prior. They
Yeah.
were just like, oh, fuck it.
They were
Yeah.
fucking renting it out for hay rides during the fall.
Yeah, for sure.
So, budget of $12 million, box office of $110.8 million. And see, that's significantly
My
less
God.
than the second one.
Yeah,
but look at that.
I know, man. Boy,
All right.
I don't remember this coming out either, man.
I kind
Holy
of don't
shit.
either. I remember the second one coming out. Did I say what number the second one was? Because I like the movies it's between.
You did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Between Triple X and Minority Report. This
Right.
one came in at number 24 at the box office between Open Season and Charlotte's Web. And
I'm very surprised that these movies did so well.
people love them.
I just couldn't. I can't wrap my head around that.
That's
Yeah.
why I genuinely think there's going to be a reboot at some point.
A reboot.
I think
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think at some point.
The Rock.
No, well maybe The Rock, but like I think it'll be Tim Allen would be in the movie, maybe like passing along the mantle.
Oh, you think that?
Yeah.
Oh, so not even like a hard reboot, but like with some
I
continuity?
think it would be with some continuity.
I don't know, man.
Or maybe just as a cameo, maybe they do a remake and he'll be the Santa Claus that falls off the roof. So he just has to be in like one scene.
There you go. I'd pay $15 to watch him fall off a roof.
Well, we'd have to cover it.
Yeah. The snare trap you got us in.
So the first one you'll recall was nominated for like a bunch of awards and shit, MTV Movie Awards, but still, this one, lots of Razzies, Henry.
Oh, here we go.
Tim Allen was nominated for. Oh,
Raspberries, no razzmatazz. All we're lacking is a little pizzazz, 'cause it's the golden raspberries. It's the worst of the worst, not the best of the best. It's pizzazz gone raz.
I forgot about that.
Back with a vengeance.
That's good. Okay.
Thanks.
Tim Allen was nominated for Worst Actor. Okay?
Oh, good.
And he collectively lost to both of the Wayans brothers for Little Man. Remember that one?
Oh, I sure do.
I forgot that movie existed.
That was a big one.
Because when you think of the Wayans brothers, I feel like I think of the Scary Movie movies and fucking White Chicks.
Okay. Well, I never forgot about Little Man.
I forgot about it. So what is it? Sean Wayans is like himself,
I
basically.
Can't. Don't go that far.
And
Let's
then,
not get
but
hysterical. I
Marlon plays a
can't say.
baby, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right.
Who fucking cares? I don't know.
So Martin Short was nominated for Worst Supporting Actor,
Mm.
and I really like their choice for the winner of this award. M. Night Shyamalan for Lady in the Water.
Ooh, yeah.
He is fucking bad in that movie.
Yeah, he is, and that is a bad movie. And I remember how bad he was during that movie because I remember one of those weird memories where I remember watching it and listening to his monologue that he gives himself about being an underappreciated writer who writes a book that changes the world.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was so fascinated by that movie. They released a book about the making of that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to know how this movie got made. And I read the whole book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Saw that movie on my 28th birthday.
I saw it aroround that time in theaters.
And walked out of the theater, left my girlfriend in it while
What?
I said, honey, I'm going to see if there's anything else for us to go into. And she said, okay. I walked out. I believe it was the AMC in Times Square.
That's
and
fucking dynamite.
I perused the hallways, and I believe I know my only option, but I'm going to need your help now because the memory's vague. But whatever movie was in 2006 with Owen Wilson.
I know it. I know it off the top of my head, Henry.
What?
It must have been You, Me, and Dupree.
Was it that? I feel like it was Drill Bit Taylor, but
That was later. I saw that in theaters. That was 7 or 8.
Okay, so yeah, okay, fair enough. So if let's say it was that, so I came back in the theater and I said, I remembered this very, very well. I said, oh fuck it, let's just continue watching this shit. Yeah, so we did.
Yeah. I sat through it. I just remember I was so into the weird mythology that he was trying to create. Like, well, first in the grass there's the narfs, and then there's the scruffs, and
Paul Giamatti giving maybe
doing his
worst
best. He's
ever.
trying.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
stuttering Paul Giamatti.
I will never sit through that again. I'll never be able to, but it is fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is coming from like a semi-defender of The Village and The Happening.
I knew The Village, and I can even understand that.
Well, I think The Village is genuinely good, but I think The Happening is a totally competent movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's way better than Lady in the Water.
I don't know. I saw them both in the theater. I hated them both, so I don't know.
All right. Well, listen, we might be down for a Shyamalan ranking at some point soon. So, there's Martin Short and Tim Allen were nominated for worst on-screen couple.
All right.
And they lost to the Wayans brothers again.
Jeez.
Okay. This movie was nominated for worst sequel or remake.
Okay.
And it lost to a movie we've covered, Henry. Basic Instinct 2.
Ooh. Oh.
That is worse.
Basic Instinct 2?
Basic Instinct 2 is worse than the Santa Claus 3.
Yeah. What would you Damn that. But what would you watch again if you had to watch
Basic Instinct 2.
Right.
Because it's fascinatingly bad.
So it's better. Yeah.
Okay. And it was nominated for an award, Worst Excuse for Family Entertainment.
Wow.
And it lost to a movie called RV.
That was Robin Williams.
It was, and I believe Barry Sonnenfeld.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have your 2006 list? I redid mine today, which I'm very excited about, Henry. Because 2006 was not a great year for movies. And so
For me, I liked a lot of movies that year.
Well, I really wanted to dig deep. I wanted to see if I could find some movies that hadn't previously been on my list, and I did. And here's my new list. I'm excited about it. I even have honorable mentions.
I have 7 honorable mentions.
I have 6.
Well, let's run through those real quick.
Okay, what's your 7?
Inside Man.
That's great.
Yeah. A lot of these were just taken off because I like this year a lot. Inside Man, The Night Listener, speaking of Robin Williams.
Oh, God, I forgot that existed.
It's a very good movie. The Illusionist.
Yeah.
Babel.
Sure.
Borat.
Yeah, that's great.
Harsh Times.
Uh,
Christian Bale.
Okay. Jail? Is it a jail movie?
No.
Okay.
A cop drug dealer movie.
Oh, sounds boring.
It's right up my alley. You wouldn't like it.
Sure.
Thank You for Smoking and The Prestige.
Okay, and my honorables are Casino Royale,
Oh yeah, good choice. Good choice.
Medea's Family Reunion,
Of course.
Hollywoodland, Letters,
Hollywoodland. Good movie.
Yep.
That's a good movie.
Letters
Yeah.
from Iwo Jima,
Excellent movie. Yep.
Slither, and
movie.
Art School Confidential. And now I'd like to present my new top 10 list.
All right. Well, then why don't you go first?
I'd love to go first for once.
Yeah.
My number 10 is The Last King of Scotland.
Excellent, excellent, excellent movie. My number 10 is Half Nelson.
Right. My number 9, making its list debut, is Kelly Reichardt's Old Joy.
That's one of the few movies of hers I haven't seen. Yeah.
That baby is like 72 minutes.
Well, that's why it's on your list.
Yeah, well, it's also great.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8.
Number 9 for me.
Right.
Notes on a Scandal.
I just rewatched it and I knocked it off the list. It's not that great.
Oh, that's no way. That's true.
I swear, I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago. It's totally good, but not list material.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Number 8. Right, I'm going
Jumped
first.
ahead of me.
Number
Yeah.
8.
Yes.
It's making its list debut, I believe. A movie that I saw at a press screening and interviewed the filmmaker and also had lunch with its lead actor, and that is a film
Wait.
called Down in
I knew
the
it.
Valley.
That is a great fucking movie. Oh, that's great.
Very
I forgot.
underrated.
I saw that at the Lincoln Center Little Art House Theater. That's a great movie. Yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
that
you-
sitting next to Kurt Loder.
Kurt Loder.
Yes.
Wow. The most colorless MTV VJ, but also probably the smartest.
What? Not Sway?
You also interviewed Edward Norton and insulted him, as we've brought up before.
Sure.
It's
I made
good-
fun
good
of
time.
keeping the faith.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh,
number 8.
Yeah, number 8 for you. I'm not used to
Number
going
8
first.
is-
I'm all fucked up.
I know. The Last King of Scotland.
Very good. My number 7 is The Descent.
What was number 7? Sorry.
The Descent. The Descent.
Yeah. My number 7, V for Vendetta.
Bullshit movie. You know, I was going to make a joke. Whatever my movie after The Descent was, whatever your pick was, I was going to call it The Decent. But V for Vendetta doesn't even...
Say that again.
I was gonna call it The Decent instead of The Descent, but V for
yeah.
Vendetta doesn't even earn that title. It's just bad.
That's a great movie.
All right,
Great comic book, great movie. Sorry.
great comic book.
I'm
for
not
sure.
apologizing for V for Vendetta.
All right, my number 6.
I know there's a lot of people don't like it. Yeah, go ahead.
My number 6 is well, smart people. My number 6 is Fast Food Nation.
Never saw it.
Great,
Yeah.
Richard Linklater.
That's right.
His,
Number
his
6 for
best
me is.
of 2 films that came out that year by Richard Linklater.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, Scanner
All right.
Darkly, same year. Go
I
ahead.
hated it. All right. My number 6 is The Descent.
Great movie. Henry. Thank you. My number. Oh, I thought we were just going to. Okay.
Touchdowns, the curling, when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
Man, you really get thrown when one thing has changed. It's
My number
interesting.
5 is Little Children.
Got bumped for me.
Well, it used to be
for
my
a
number
movie you-
1, so it got bumped for me too.
Oh, that's right. Wow, big time bump. My number 5 is The Departed. Yeah.
All right, you'll enjoy that. My number 4, Henry, is Borat for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan or something like that.
Great choice. Great choice.
Thank you.
My number 4 is Casino Royale.
Sure, great choice. My number 3 is the Duplass Brothers, The Puffy Chair.
Yes. My number 3 is United 93.
That's my number 2.
Still waiting for the sequel. Oh, that's your number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a sequel to United 93, Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Sully.
Hello?
It was called Sully. All right?
Yeah.
Sully.
I don't particularly get that joke.
It's another story
Yeah,
of
I get
a
it.
heroic plane ride.
Ended a little differently. Yeah. Number 2, Apocalypto.
Oh, Henry,
Daniel.
well, why must you be rewarding these individuals that hate my people?
Oh, stop it.
No Nazis on my list. My number 2 was United 93. Oh, so we're up to number 1, Henry. I have a new number 1.
A new number 1. I'm very excited. What is it?
It's a documentary. Okay?
Grizzly Man.
No, it is The Devil and Daniel Johnston.
I have always wanted to see that, and I never did. Yeah.
What a masterpiece it is, and it is my number 1 film of 2006.
Mine is still Children of Men.
I knew it would be. Okay.
Now available for streaming on Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it called Bird Box? Henry, I have a strong the people want to know.
Yeah. Did I watch Bird Box?
There are 2 things that we are all certain that Henry loves.
Okay.
Watching random movies on Netflix
True.
and Sandy B.
Right.
Now, Sandy B stars in a random movie on Netflix. Has Henry watched it?
Yes.
Of course you did. I would have been so disappointed if you hadn't.
Yeah.
What
Hey, man, that was an easy call for me because I was shopping around looking for a good thriller horror thing on there, as I often do.
Sure. Henry, as he does, was surfing through Netflix, saw that they have the new Alfonso Cuarón movie that's going to get nominated for Best Picture.
I know.
Saw that they have the new Coen Brothers movie. Decided I'll skip those. I'll watch the Sandy B movie.
I didn't feel like focusing on anything. Yes, I know. Cuarón and the Coen, 2 of my favorites of all time. And I did choose The Bird Box.
Sure.
But
And did you enjoy it?
it was fine. Yeah.
Okay.
You know who's really good in that? The Malkinator, man.
Who?
John Malkovich.
Oh, he's in that?
He's fucking great. And the guy from Moonlight.
You've got to wear your blindfold.
Not bad.
Thank you.
The guy from Moonlight is excellent in it, too. Trevante something or other.
Rhodes, I want to say.
I think so, yeah. He's excellent. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, as a thriller, 3 stars.
BB. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch it at some point.
No, you won't.
I will. I absolutely will.
Why?
I'm interested.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a phenomenon, Henry. Netflix says it had the most watched first week of any film they've ever put up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It even beat Bright.
Never stop hearing about that Bright. Haven't checked it out.
Yeah. Someday we'll all be doing double features of Bright and Avatar and remembering the most talked about films of our day.
Oh my.
Henry, Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. Can we talk about it? So Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, it begins, Elizabeth Mitchell is now living at the North Pole, and she's teaching elves, I guess. Abigail Breslin's one of them in a small role.
Yeah, it's true. We said we'd be talking about that, but not really. Yeah, she's really not in it.
It's weird. She was nominated for a fucking Oscar this year.
Oh, yeah.
This is the year of Little Miss Sunshine. And
it is.
And
yeah.
Abigail Breslin and Alan Arkin, who won an Oscar for Little Miss Sunshine, are both in this movie.
This must have been done before.
It had to have been, right?
No.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You think that's how they got Brez the Sunshine gig? They were like, Spence, get Abigail into this movie. She read this script, this Arkin script. Get her. She can charm the pants. Not literally the pants off of Alan Arkin, I don't think. But, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think that he encourages his sister's career? I always got the feeling he's a little...
No. But I think the mom forces him to encourage the sister's career.
I always got that impression, too.
Yeah.
She was always nice to me. I don't know.
She's totally nice, and she's a good actress. I like Abigail Breslin.
I meant the mother.
Oh, the mom? The mom was totally nice to me, too. She just seemed like a total stage mom.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, Elizabeth Mitchell is teaching at the Elfmentary School, which is a pretty labored pun.
Yeah.
Speaking of labor, she's pregnant.
That disappointed me real quick.
What, that she's a carrier of Tim Allen's seed?
Well, that, but also that I was worried we were going to get another labor scene.
Well, we kind of did.
I could really... There's a few things in movies I could really go the rest of my life ever without seeing again, and that's one of them. Jesus Christ.
Just hearing someone say push.
Oh, it's just...
I'm okay with it when it's like has to do with the plot. You know, like Knocked Up has to end with like a fucking labor scene. You have to do it.
You know, but even and they did it. They even did it in a creative way in that A Quiet Place. You know.
Yeah, sure.
But it's still
Antichrist.
Yeah, I never saw Antichrist, but yeah. But yeah, do we really? I guarantee you, of the 348,000 movies we've covered in the 2.5 years plus we've been on here, we've covered at least 34 labors.
No way. Can you think of even one other labor we've covered?
Knocked Up.
Oh yeah, I forgot we covered that.
And this is 40 ends with sort of they're gonna be doing it, but no, there's other labor scenes. I know we've done it. Madison.
I think A Nightmare on Elm Street might have one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. So, Tim Allen Santa, she misses her family, so they're gonna bring up her in-laws, and her in-laws are Alan Arkin and that bitch Anne Margaret, and.
Now, did I miss something else on the pop culture cycle?
No, it's a South Park reference.
Oh.
So it's a lyric in the song "Blame Canada."
Okay.
Or Anne Murray. That's what I meant. I've been saying Anne Margaret. It's Anne Murray. That bitch Anne Murray too. So they they come up and they have to drug them. The Sandman.
Yeah.
Drugs them with dream sleep, and they turn the North Pole into Canada because they think that he's a Canadian toy maker.
Right.
What a fucking farce this is, huh?
Yeah.
It's like an episode of Frasier with an even worse Republican.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Okay. And they have a Canadian in the cast, so I guess they got his advice on
Who?
what it's like up there, eh? Martin Short.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. Martin Short plays Jack Frost. Great makeup, great hair, and he wants to. He's jealous of Santa Claus. He wants to be Santa Claus, and so he's been putting out advertisements. Like he's been like promoting himself on Earth. I keep saying on Earth. It's Earth.
Yeah, well, I get it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they want to like kill him, I guess. Is that what happens? I feel like Aisha Tyler wants to murder him, and Santa Claus.
I think Dan watched the Ridley Scott director's cut of Escape Clause. On Earth, no one can hear you scream, and they want to kill him.
Yeah, well, I think they do. And Tim Allen's like, no, he'll just do like community service at. But I don't understand why like self-promotion's such a bad thing.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem. You're right. When the Council of Extraordinary Gentlemen and Women meet again, the Mullinators there,
The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
the Hogwarts faculty.
I already made that joke. Go ahead.
You said Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, it was better. Go ahead.
All right. When the Justice League of America meets,
There you go.
When
the Legion of Superheroes comes together,
they're essentially just
the Easter Bunny and Bouncing Boy decide that he needs to die.
Where's Batmite?
Well, he's on the fence about it.
He's on the screen is where he is.
Kevin Pollak would be a good Batmite.
Oh, yeah. Pollak could play a Batmite / Mr. Mixelplick, right? Just float on air.
Dynamite. Just pop a hat, a tilted hat on him. He'll handle it.
Let him do. He'll figure a voice out. He'll just be walking. Yeah. You're right. Self-promotion. It's really not. Who cares? He's just, nobody cares. And everyone's mad at him that he's upstaging Santa. Okay, first of all, not possible. I mean, who are we kidding on this council, right? I mean, Santa Claus is the only one that...
He's the king shit.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else is just like... I mean, Mother Nature and Father Time, I get it. They're big deals, but
no, I would argue. Yeah, I think the Easter Bunny's got his place on that council. Maybe Cupid.
We got but we're throwing in Cupid. We're throwing. I mean, come on, Sandman.
Cupid's got listen. Cupid and Sandman both have classic songs about them, so you got to give them that.
Yeah, Cupid does.
Sure, that Sam Cooke song. Cupid, pull back your bow. I sound just like Sam Cooke.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so and he is going to get suspended for that, and then
he gets community service at the North Pole, and so this fucking guy, he's just like hanging around the North Pole this entire movie, and so he manages. There's a thing called the escape clause, where if Tim Allen holds just the right snow globe and says the words "I wish I was never Santa Claus," then he won't be Santa Claus anymore, and Martin Short makes that happen. So there's this whole like metaphysical storyline happening, which is, sort of a Back to the Future 2 situation, and at the same time, there's this farce of Elizabeth Mitchell's parents being there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
neither works.
And Spencer Breslin's now the main elf because Krumholtz isn't back, and there's more, reindeer farts.
And a lot more. And Brez is, I want to say, worse in this, probably because he gets more screen time.
Yeah, they gave him a bigger load.
Yeah. But he's not my LVP. It's close.
Okay.
Bigger load. You like that joke of yours, huh?
I didn't. It wasn't even a joke.
It's good.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Henry. You know what the scariest part of this movie was? Can I talk about something real quick?
I don't know. Can you?
Yeah. What? They're hanging out in in like the living room of the North Pole,
Yeah.
and they're decorating the tree and stuff. And Tim Allen has a fucking fireplace that is carved in the shape of Tim Allen.
He wait. He has a tape of I
A
missed that.
fireplace. He has this giant
Oh, yeah,
fireplace
yeah.
of
Right.
himself.
Never gets old.
And then when sometimes he has to step into the fireplace, and the mouth widens. It's fucking horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good for an old Black Christmas joke, I guess, if he wants to terrify some of the little people. Yeah.
Why
You're
Black
right.
Christmas?
What's that?
Why Black Christmas?
Isn't that a horror movie?
Yeah. Oh, I guess. Okay.
Why do you have to go racial on everything? That's not what I meant.
Okay, fair point. Henry, he goes back in time. So it's like an alternate universe.
You skipped about an hour and a half.
Who gives a shit?
All right with me.
They so Martin.
Alan Hawkins in it. I don't know why he's in it.
It's me. It's just me, Alan Arkin. I'm
go
giving
fuck
a
yourself.
world-weary performance in this film.
All I have done is get the leads from Glengarry. I was afraid of the dark in the 60s, right, with Audrey Hepburn. And now I'm just Alan Arkin all the time.
I spent at least 10 minutes of this movie trying to picture Alan Arkin and Anne Murray fucking.
Why Anne Murray and not Anne Margaret?
Is it Anne Margaret? It is Anne Margaret.
Yes.
Oh,
Established.
listen.
Well, listen, when Adam Arkin steps on, I understand the confusion.
Yeah. So, but because she looks crazy now, and he
Anne
just
Margaret
looks
has
like
looked crazy.
Alan Arkin.
Right, yeah. He's the same as he's always been, but Anne Margaret, since carnal knowledge, has never really looked the same. Well, she was in a car accident, though, so
What?
got to cut her some slack.
Is that
Yeah,
why
you
she
didn't know
looks like that?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, she was in a serious car accident, I think maybe in the 70s or 80s.
When
and
you
she
say
had to
car accident, are you referring to Grumpy Old Man?
have- Nice. No, it was pretty bad. She had to have like reconstructive surgery and everything. Yeah,
Was Christopher Walken driving?
him or Robert? What's his face? Robert Wool.
No,
right,
Robert
right,
Wagner.
Right. Robert Ludlum. Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Loggia.
I was driving the car, and Margaret, the face through the glass.
Robert Vaughn. Okay.
Robert Blake.
Oh God. A lot of shady Roberts out there. Oh,
Woo!
I'm having fun tonight, man.
We are having a good time. over
Happy
here.
New Year.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to go back in time, and Martin Short becomes Santa Claus, and it's like an alternate reality where like he finds himself in this alternate reality where he's a real workaholic. It's like that movie The Family Man, and
Yeah.
and you know his he goes and tries to find his family. They don't really know him because he like doesn't really hang out with his family that much. The wife and Judge Reinhold are divorced. I love that the fact that Tim Allen was Santa Claus was the only thing keeping that couple together.
I love one of the most sexist things in the entire movie, or in any movie in the history of cinema. when he goes to her door. And Wendy Crewson answers, and nobody comments on the fact that she's wearing a fucking waitress uniform.
Yeah, she's like a diner waitress.
Yeah, because, I don't know what she did before, but I didn't really get the impression in the last movie that she was a house mom. But,
No, I thought she was like a business lady.
Right. So because Judge Reinhold divorces her,
She waitresses at a diner.
Yeah, I mean, wow. And it's like a name tag saying Laura. I mean, they might as well just put Flo on there and put a fucking cigarette hanging out of her mouth, Holy shit.
What'll it be?
Yeah.
Order up!
All of a sudden, she's the mom from the first Nightmare on Elm Street,
Ugh, I fucking wish. Okay. So he goes up to the North Pole, which is now like a resort community where there's a reindeer petting zoo and there's like a stage show starring Santa Claus because like Santa Claus has come out into the world. He's no longer a secret. It's me, Martin Short. I'm Santa.
Right. I must say.
What?
That was his character that I never found funny, but everyone else does. Ed Grimley.
Yeah, I'm not a big Ed Grimley guy.
Not
either.
funny. That's why.
No, not funny.
No, we must say
He's no Clifford.
Not funny.
So
he's no Ned Niederlander from Three Amigos, and I mean that because I love that movie.
I love Three Amigos too. So his name's Ned Niederlander in that movie.
As I recall, I haven't seen that movie in about 20 fucking
That's
years,
funny.
but I believe so. Yeah.
Henry. So
Yes.
he's at the North Pole. He's selling merch, and he has this one thing that is a pen that you can like record your own voice on. It's a fucking talk boy, Henry. We've covered this. It's the exact fucking toy from Home Alone 2: Lost in New York.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and the whole plot of the movie hinges on this fucking thing because Tim Allen like gets him on tape saying like I don't want to be Santa or whatever.
Right.
And he gets his niece to give him a snow globe, and then there's a scary moment where he freezes Judge Reinhold or something.
He put them on ice.
Yeah, he did. He looks like fucking Robin in Batman and Robin.
Ice. Yeah.
Yeah, Bird Boy. And
Bird Box.
oh yeah, have you watched Bird Box? So so they all fucking he has to like freeze. He has to defrost them, but in order to do that, he has to defrost himself. That's the science of Mr. Freeze.
The science,
or Jack
right?
Frost.
Yeah. He
So
gets a hug from Lucy,
Lucy gives him a magical hug, which warms his heart.
but he's still Jack Frost. Very strange.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that would like dethrone him.
No,
you
he's
know,
still
from-
Jack Frost, but he's still he likes the feeling of warmth. I think
Yeah.
he's into it.
His hair changes. It's a great scene.
And they admit to Mitchell's parents that he's Santa, and they're cool with it, and everyone lives happily ever after.
The end.
Oh, and there's a setup though. He has a baby. They have a baby at the end of this movie,
Yeah.
and the name of the baby is Buddy, and it's presented as this really big moment,
Right.
and I didn't understand it. Why was it a big deal that they named their child Buddy?
Because that's Alan Arkin's character's name.
No, it's not.
Because it's a budding idea for the fourth Santa Claus.
No, I did some research on this, Henry.
Whoa.
So confused was I by this ending.
Didn't even think about it. All right.
Because they present it as like a big moment. Like they say it to the camera. Like we're supposed to be like, oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
So apparently,
Uh-oh.
a couple years earlier, a little film came out and was a big hit from the same studio that made the Santa Claus movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called Elf. And you might recall that Will Ferrell's character in Elf was named Buddy. Now,
I never saw Elf.
It's pretty
believe
good.
it or not.
Now,
Yeah.
is this movie presupposing that Will Ferrell's character in Elf is Tim Allen Santa Claus's son?
Wow. That's some real deep stuff there, guys.
Which means we fucked up, Henry. Elf is a part of the Santa Claus franchise.
Yeah. Wow. It and what year did Elf come out?
2003.
2003.
Yeah.
So it should have come between
these two.
I don't know, man. Why don't you email Jon Favreau and ask him, what's going on?
I don't want to bother him. He's busy.
Okay.
He's working on those Lions.
Which Lions is he working on?
The Kings.
Okay.
Yeah. Henry, what do you give this movie? And do you have anything else to say about it?
Not really. Martin Short was, really, really bad.
He was.
He really was. I don't know what on God's green earth Alan Arkin and Elizabeth Mitchell felt like. Elizabeth Mitchell at this point, 2006, she's already had a strong TV career, but am I wrong? But she's right in the smack dab in the middle of Lost, right?
No. Now, you might think that because Lost had premiered by now. But
right.
You'll recall that Elizabeth Mitchell did not show up on Lost till season 3. So she made this...
I thought it's at least season 2.
Nope.
Why would I question you? But okay, yeah, all right, wow.
So,
okay.
I think she showed up on Lost right after Santa Claus 3.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, she's my MVP again.
She is. Okay. Yeah, I guess she's mine too.
And Marty Short.
LVP Marty Short.
Yeah, man. He does what he does. He's no worse than I expected him to be, I guess, which is a good thing.
Should I go 3 for 3 on Tim Allen?
I'd love it because I'm going 3 for 3 on my ratings.
I am gonna give it a 1, and I think it's the worst one by a fair amount.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
so
I'll go with I'm going to go with Martin Short. He's really insufferable in this movie.
He's pretty insufferable.
He's hard to take.
He's hard to take.
I did write down one Easter Bunny line that I wanted to include on the podcast because he's running around and he says, "Those little pellets behind me, I'll clean those up later." What, is he just walking around shitting?
I think so, because bunnies have no bowel control.
But he's a man-sized bunny. Is he just like... Is there just fucking human-sized shit all over the North Pole?
I don't know. Him and Alan Arkin are just walking around the movie uncontrollably shitting. And Anne Murray. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, what do you got?
I'm ranking the Santa Claus 2 being the best of the Santa Claus movies.
Okay, I'll go with Elf.
But seriously, what's your favorite?
It's a 1, 2, 3 situation for me.
It's a 2, 1, 3 for me.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
All right, we did it. The Santa Claus. And no superhero count for this one?
None.
And Margaret wasn't on like the fucking
I know
Adam West Batman or some shit.
Oh, that's what I thought, man.
Alan Arkin hasn't been in like he wasn't in like Suicide Squad as a general.
I know, man. Exactly. I thought at least Alan Arkin would pop up on like the 70s Wonder Woman or something, but no, nothing.
All right.
Chero. Yep.
All right. So that's it. Okay, fucking great.